Hello. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Patch Notes. This is our show to talk to you about everything that's going on at Twitch. It is very specifically meant to talk to you about product updates, releases, behind the scenes information, and you even get to talk to employees behind the scenes that are actively working on products and updates for you. My favorite part about this show is that we also get to answer your questions live, which is so exciting. My name is Mary, and I am head of community at Twitch. A huge part of my role is to help Twitch be better for you and communicate effectively, like ways that we can make this site better, get your feedback and address it inside. But it's also full circle. So Patch Notes is our way to talk to you and give you some updates of what we're up to and why we're making the changes that we're making. I could not do this or be here without Dan Clancy. So I have to just toss it over to you, Dan, the CEO of Twitch. Please say hi.
Well, hello, Mary, and it's a perfect example where, of course, as soon as you go live with something, tech things, because I froze for a second. I was like, wait, I'm not hearing anything. But then I heard Mary. I saw it on the stream, and so I was like, well, it's going. It's just I'm frozen. But lucky the team, I hit reconnect. VMix is working. We're all good. Let's all breathe out. Okay. It's exciting to be here. Mary, thanks for having me. It's always a joy to do this with you. And we have a lot to talk about. And looking forward to questions once we share some of the updates we have planned.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because we're doing something a little differently. As always, we want you to drop questions in chat using !ask, or you can use the Twitch Ask emote. The extension we have is the best route to getting your question answered because we see it routes through our systems, and then we can make sure that we're answering your question. In addition, we also asked the partner Discord for some questions specifically for you, Dan, so that will be fun, and we'll always be answering your questions live from chat because they're important to us. So with that, should we get started, Dan?
We should, but I will start with mentioning I saw Kane Redfist had a question, and I am not related to Tom Clancy. I do have an uncle Tom Clancy, interestingly, but it's a different Tom Clancy. So no, I am not. And yes, we do need to get my backdrop better. I mean, what you see is my treadmill and all that sort of stuff. So that's on the list. I will tell you, as you know, I do stream regularly, but the part of it, I am the epitome of a scruff of the neck streamer, as I do not spend a lot of time getting a nice backdrop and getting all the lighting right and all that. I should, but it's just one of those things that with all that I have to do in the day, I haven't quite gotten to that part of it yet.
I think that's fine. I just was redoing my alerts, and right now I'm using all of Twitch's auto sounds and visuals for my alerts because I'm redoing my personalized ones, and they work just fine. And I'm actually, my numbers are the same, and so part of me was like, oh, I guess like the auto ones can work. So sometimes the path of least resistance is the right one.
Well, I think it's also a testament, having talked to a lot of streamers about this, I'm very much like it. If I have a choice between streaming or fiddling with my streaming setup, I usually choose streaming. Because it's more fun. Because it's more fun than fiddling with my alerts and doing all that. So, okay, we should probably get on to some of the content now, Mary. We've got our good banter. Our banter, we're good with the banter. So now let's jump right in. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
The first one we're going to
I
talk
think it's
about
me.
is clips. So let's get into it.
All right. So I'd like to start by introducing Anna Rao. Okay. And so we've been doing a lot of work with clips this past year. I know for me, it's one of the things that I think it's some of the most important work we're doing. There are a number of updates coming up, and also want to talk long-term about where we're going. So here to talk about all things clips is Director of Product Anna Rao. Anna, say hello.
Hi everyone.
Hi,
It's
Anna.
good to be back. It's been like a year. It's been a while. You haven't invited me back in a
Wow.
while.
This is a mistake.
Come on, Mary, get on that. Get on
I
that.
feel personally responsible because I really like Anna, and I was just saying as we were like testing earlier that I feel like we should have you on every show. So I will fix that.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm honored. Well, I'm honored to be here today, and it's my first time with Dan hosting, so
Oh, wow.
exciting. I know. I know, that's how long it's been. Well,
Wow.
it's great to see you all, and I'm excited to talk clips.
We are excited
All right.
to have you. We're going to talk about clips. So let's get into it. As we mentioned, leading up to you being on here, clips are becoming a top priority for Twitch, and specifically, they're a top priority for your team. Can you share a little bit about why the team is investing so much in clips and what you're trying to achieve?
Yes, of course. So clips are meant to be shared. They're one of the best ways for streamers to get discovered by new viewers. They're a great way to relive moments with your community or catch people up that maybe missed a stream or joined late. Streamers know the value of clips. I don't need to tell you, but we want to help you get more value out of the clips that are shared off of Twitch. And there are two things we hear pretty often from streamers and viewers that are challenges when it comes to creating and sharing clips. One is in smaller communities, there are just less viewers to create clips. And this means the work falls to the streamer. So after you stream, you would have to go through your VOD and clip moments, and that's time consuming and hard. The second challenge is when you do have clips and you have a good amount of them, it's hard to sort through them, edit them, and share them to all the places that you want to share them. So for this reason, our team's focused on increasing the quality and supply of clips while providing solutions that make it easier for you and your viewers to edit and share those clips to boost discovery.
Yeah. So I know, Anna, for me, the way I always think of it is there's always something cool that happens on stream. And of course, a clip is trying to capture that cool thing that happened. And I think as you highlighted, our focus isn't just about sharing that on Twitch. It's about sharing that on other platforms because lots of cool stuff happens while you're streaming. I really like all the improvements. And I know we made a lot of changes to the clip creation flow earlier this year. So why don't you talk a little more about other stuff we've been working on?
Yeah, so earlier this year, maybe you noticed, maybe your viewers noticed, we updated the clip creation flow on web so that you clip, edit, make a portrait version, and share all from a single flow. And since we rolled that out, we've actually seen the number of clips shared off of Twitch almost double. So that lets us know that you all are finding this easier, you're using it, you're finding it easier. There's always room for more improvement, but we're really excited to see more clips get shared after we rolled this new flow out. And we actually will be rolling this updated flow out on mobile later this year, which we're very excited about, which will make sharing portrait clips to socials even easier from your phone. Remember, you should, as a streamer, you should edit the portrait crop of your clip one time because then all of your viewers benefit from that crop that you set. They get that as a default. And we actually save a default per category. So Mary, I know sometimes you stream different categories. If you want to have a different layout for each category you stream, you're able to do that. And then your viewers actually just benefit and get that crop. We know a lot of your viewers are on mobile, so we hope that this new flow, which optimizes clips for sharing on mobile, will help increase the number of clips shared. Oh yeah, and you can see it here.
It's so cool to see it in action, and it's a great way to look at the ratio. I know when I'm editing a clip, I tend to have my pip, so like my picture-in-picture of me, a little smaller, and it's really cool that you're able to scale that large and small based on what type of preference you have. We also have people who don't have a camera on their stream at all, so there's lots of different ways to do it, but the way that you're making it easier for the audience to edit clips and share them, I think it's really smart because that's what we're trying to do. And it kind of leads me to my next question for you, which is we often get a question in chat almost every time we do this show, which is, cool, but what are we doing to help smaller streamers grow? And I think this is related. So my question to you is like, what are we doing to help streamers, especially smaller streamers, get more clips during their streams?
Yes, great question. So no one knows your best moments like your viewers, and we want them clipping your stream. Especially in smaller streams, you need more of your viewers actively participating and clipping your best moments. And so in order to facilitate that, we want to reward and recognize viewers who support streamers by clipping those great moments. And so we will be experimenting with a top clips leaderboard, which will celebrate viewers who clip the most watched moments and plan to give them badges for clipping in the future. We'll nudge viewers actually at key moments in the stream. So when there's a hype train or when chat is busier than usual, we will suggest to your viewer, remind them like, hey, you should clip this moment and highlight the new leaderboard. So you can see this nudge right here, but don't worry, they don't block chat or the viewing experience, and you can see they can be easily dismissed. But yeah.
All right. So, and now on, of course, the first stage is getting clips. And then the second stage is trying to figure out what are the best clips. Because in fact, one of the biggest challenges some people have is, I'm overwhelmed. I have so many clips that it takes forever to kind of go through them to figure out which ones I really want to share and which ones are good ones. So why don't you talk about what we're doing around that?
Yeah, so I know you don't pick favorites, but I think if you had to pick a favorite clip thing, Dan, it might be this. A clip improvement coming. We're rolling out a new experience where we will show you a scrollable feed of your top clips from each stream. So we select your top clips based on which clips have the most views, which is not a perfect indicator, we know, but it is a signal that these clips may be more engaging than all the others and lessens the burden of having to go through everything, hopefully. You can find these clips on web in your stream summary after you stream, or on mobile, as I said, in a scrollable feed. And we will send you a notification after you stream to say, hey, you have clips to review. And you'll be able to just quickly scroll through, identify which ones you want to share, and then click to edit, share them. But yeah, we're very excited that's coming this year.
So this is, by the way, it is fair. This is one of my favorites, and I will state why it's one of my favorites. And by the way, I've experienced, but also I've talked to a lot of streamers about this, and they share this feeling. Of course, they're on their desktop streaming, so of course we often, first of all, think about, well, build tools on desktop because they have a kick-ass desktop and they spend all this time streaming. The reality is, I know when I finish streaming, I'm like, I want to get up from this chair. I've just been sitting here for 3 or 4 hours. And for folks that stream 8 hours a day, the last thing they want to do when they're done streaming is sit in that chair for another 30 minutes. And the beauty of this is often you just want to get up and be somewhere else in the house. You want to go to Starbucks, grab a cup of coffee. You want to do something. And now you can sit there, but still in the next 30 minutes, sit on your phone, scroll, find the cool clips and share. Because and now that you both have the ability to pick the best clip and to edit, for me, if I don't pick out the clips like shortly after a stream, and certainly have to do it before my next stream, it just doesn't happen. And so and I always encourage folks, you have to kind of build a pattern of when are you going to look through your clips from the stream, and it needs to be part of your regular patterns with streaming. And I strongly encourage folks, think about how you're feeling. Maybe you go down and get something to eat and then sit there on your phone, or maybe later on, that night or in the morning when you wake up, maybe it's you stream really late. You don't want to do it then. Wake up in the morning. What's the first thing you do? We all know we love to have our phone by our bed. Yes, we do. Pull out that phone, scroll through, find your clips, share them. And I strongly encourage folks, as you share them, especially share them to your stories feed. Your stories feed is your community, and there are a lot of members of your community that missed your stream. That's the nature of all our streams. And so every stream has 3 to 5 cool moments. Find your 3 to 5 cool moments, share them in your stories for your community that missed it. And that also gives you a signal for which ones are best, for which ones you want to share on Instagram, TikTok, other platforms.
You're definitely not alone either. There's been some people in chat like Semi Spree who said 100% I shut my PC off. I am the same. When I am done streaming, it's usually because I'm starving and I'm ready for dinner. I'm not going to spend another 30 minutes looking through stuff. I'm going to eat. And then usually when I'm eating, I can have my phone on me and like look through some clips and things like that. So it makes a lot of sense, but it's always been our goal to have parity between desktop and mobile. This is just one more step in that. I also saw another question, Anna, but I missed the username, but it was just like, when is this happening again? Could you just remind us when we're going to see some of these updates?
Yeah, the next couple weeks. So before the end of the year, before we all go away for the holidays. So you should expect these in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
A little present for everybody.
Actually, Mary, and we're going to get to the holiday hoopla, but hopefully they'll be out in time. It would be like, this is a great thing that when you have some cool holiday moment on your stream, share it. I'd love to see my stories feed overrun with clips from nice holiday moments from different people's streams. I think it's a great thing to start using this feature on, is holiday moments.
That makes sense. And you're going to be getting it in the next few weeks. So easy answer. Next question for you, Anna, is streamers are always asking for better ways to search for clips. There's so many clips. We're doing a great job of getting people to clip more. But how do we get through all of these clips and know which ones are the best? How are you upgrading like management and search functionality for streamers?
Yes, especially, I know we've talked about this, but if you've been on Twitch for a while, you have a lot of clips. There are a lot of clips in your clips manager. And so another way we plan to make it easier to find the best clips is by improving the search and filter functions in the clip manager. So on web with this new update, you'll be able to search for clips by title or category and filter results by date created or channel or who created the clip, featured, which I think is really cool because often maybe you just want to find clips your mods made and you want to put in a date range, and you're able to do that. You can actually select multiple categories or multiple clip creators when filtering, and you can use the date picker to limit your search to only clips created during that time period. So we're very excited about this. We think it should make it much easier to navigate the sea of clips.
That's very cool.
All right.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. So on other things you wanted to share, because I know you had a bunch. So why don't you wrap up with some of the other things you wanted to share?
So there's also on mobile, we know it's hard to find the clips that you've made. And so we are rolling out a clips you've made shelf on mobile. And we'll be adding this on the channel page so you can access all the clips you've created in one place, which we think should make it easier to find and share those clips.
All right. So now before we move on to the next topic, I always think it's good. We talk about a lot of details, but now let's go ahead and up to a higher level. So just talk more broadly about the long-term vision for clips and clips engagement as where you see that going over the next 6 to 9 months.
Yeah. So one last thing that you just reminded me, because it's part of our long-term plan. As we invest in highlighting and sharing your best clips, we want to make sure you have control over which clips are available on Twitch for discovery. And so today we prioritize showing featured clips on the homepage and in feed, but all clips created on Twitch are available to discovery surfaces like feed and browse. And so we will be rolling out a new clip setting that lets you opt in to only allowing your featured clips to be discoverable on Twitch. This setting will be off by default, so nothing will change from how it is unless you go in and turn that setting on for more control. So I just wanted to talk about that. But yes, I can talk a little bit about the long-term vision for clips and clips engagement. I spoke a little bit about how we've made it easier to share, create clips, how we've made it top of mind for you and your viewers. But our long-term vision is to really make sharing more valuable. So making clip sharing more valuable means getting you and your viewers rewarded and recognized for the clips that you share. And this includes features like letting you know an activity feed when a viewer makes a clip and letting you know when they share that clip to social, helping you understand how many views those clips get, and rewarding your viewers who share those great moments. And making sharing more valuable to you means that we'll make those clips better at getting people back to your live stream. So no matter where someone sees a clip, wherever they see it, on Twitch, off Twitch, we want to get them back to your channel page and into your stream, because that's really the value we see in clips.
I think that's such a good summary of it as well. Voren Loof also said, thank you for the amazing updates. So I just wanted to say, like, chat really agrees with you. It's good. It's good that we're investing into clips, and it's obvious that a lot of people do it. And I also just want to say, as someone who works behind the scenes at Twitch, it's often how we discover growing or just like really incredible creators based on one viral clip. It's amazing. It's how I discovered Miss Mika, and I'm sure a lot of us also did as well. If you can have an incredible play on a game, or an epic fail, and that goes viral, it could be a huge break for people. So investing in clips is just such a wonderful thing for us to do. Dan, you were going to say something too.
I was just going to jump in and add to what Anna said, because the social world has changed greatly since we first launched clips. And when we launched clips, really the social world was really a link sharing world, where then links went viral, say on Reddit or something like that. In today's world, when you think of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, the world is much more about content being shared as first order, as primary content on the platform as opposed to just a link, right? And so that's, I know one of the things you've been working on a lot is both helping creators do that, but also viewers, because often it is the way things go viral on these platforms is often it comes from multiple accounts, okay, and having slight variance of that. And so one thing I encourage all of you, and that's one thing that Anna talked about that we're kind of thinking at a broad level, a huge part about growth is capturing the cool stuff that happens on your stream, helping other people on Twitch find it, and helping people off Twitch find it. And that's not just about finding new users. Often people think, oh, it's about new users, new users, new users. It's equally as important, or arguably even more important, for maintaining your emotional attachment to your existing community. People get busy. When they're busy, they may not see you for a little while. You want to stay top of mind with them. You want them to be like, oh, I need to get back and check out Mary. Oh, Mary's streaming. I miss her. Oh, I had this big project at work. In the last 2 weeks, I haven't been on Twitch. Oh, and you want to do it. And one way to do that is for you to appear in their feeds, not just on Twitch but off Twitch. So I really think this is important. It helps you find new viewers, but it also helps you to continue that connection you have with existing viewers. So I'm very excited. I think this is just the beginning. I know for me, long term, more and more the way we can find cool stuff so I don't have to do the work, because I like to stream, right? I don't like to spend endless hours creating all this stuff. And more, the more we do this, I think it's going to help our streamers a ton. So thank you.
And the community likes doing clips, they like doing it. Yeah. So I think it'll be a win for everybody. Anna, thank you for joining us. Now, I want to remind everybody in chat, we've been looking at your questions. We are going to answer them at the end of the show. So we're going to say goodbye to Anna right now, but we'll bring her back to answer your questions. I saw some really good ones about like how will we like rate clips from a streamer perspective. That seemed really worthwhile to answer. So hang out. We will come back to answer those questions. And thank you, Anna.
I will also, by the way, tell folks this. When you see, if you see a community member and you see a clip of you like in their stories, go ahead and give a reaction. Because in fact, one of the best signals for what's a good clip is if your community, when they see a cool clip, they give a reaction in your stories feed. Now you know which of the clips that are getting reactions. So use the stories feed, watch the creators you like, react to the ones that you think are the best. That helps the creator.
Anna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
we
you.
will see you just in a little bit. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So now we have a few quick touch points. I think I'm going with the first one, which is the mobile app. So I think all of y'all have seen this, so we don't have to show you this. We've updated the mobile app recently, where now if you swipe, I think you're swiping right to go left. I always get confused when we say swipe right, which direction we're talking about. But when you swipe over to the left, you get to a following tab, which really kind of captures some of the way the old following tab used to work. I know I've talked to a lot of streamers that they really enjoy that being there. Even now you have the option when you get to your mobile feed, you can watch a live feed, you can watch a clips feed, you can look at a following a sorted list with thumbnails and everything else. So I've heard a lot of good things, and hopefully y'all are enjoying this. And I've still seen use all three of them. Use all three when it's appropriate.
We also started experimenting with sub feeds in the discovery feed today. So today, users in the experiment will see different recommended categories and collections at the top of their live feed. And you can click on them and navigate to dedicated sub feeds showing only live streams in that selected category. The categories or collections shown at the top of your feed are personalized to you. They're based on a mix of your watch history and communities you may want to highlight. We started rolling this out. It's just to a small percentage of users today. We're going to monitor the usage and feedback before deciding to roll it out to more users. So if you see it, it's an experiment. We're testing it out. We'll see how you like it and go from there.
All right. Also, we recently launched a new content classification label. Okay, we launched a number last year, but we just launched one new one. This is both used sometimes for viewers in terms of content that they may not want to see, and then also for advertisers, help giving them information as they characterize the content that is appropriate for their content. So last month we added a new category for politics and sensitive social issues. Now, just for clarity on this, you can look at the guidelines, but this isn't about a casual mention in the stream. This is for streams that are targeted talking about politics, sensitive social issues, that then you should label it not because you mentioned something at one point on your stream or you have a brief period, but when your stream is primarily about these issues, then please place the label on there, and we appreciate that.
We also want to be clear that you don't need the label if your stream is talking about your lived experience. So when we're talking about politics or sensitive social issues, that sounds really broad, right? And one of the reactions that we got, especially from our Twitch ambassadors, was, well, I talk about sensitive stuff because it's my life. And that doesn't count as something you need to put this label on. So if you're talking about your lived experience, your experiences as a person who's experiencing things, you can go ahead and do that. Politics and sensitive social issues label is required if it's a discussion that is like the focus of your stream, and it's one of the listed topics found in our guidelines. So you can go to the article, it's in our safety center, which is safety.twitch.tv. And there's even there's like a link as well for a content classification guidelines. So you can see all the listed topics. But I do think it's important to just remember, like, if this is the focus of your stream, it's probably best to have that label on there. But if you're gaming and you're just talking about your experiences, your lived experiences, you don't need this label.
All right. And now with that, now we're going to talk about some of the updates to drop in and shared view counts. So let's welcome Madison Morris, who's our product manager of collaboration experience. Madison, great to have you here.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right.
Yay!
So first, Madison, before we talk about shared viewership, go ahead and just summarize how have things been happening in terms of shared chat? How's the uptake been? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of positive feedback for shared chat. The community's been really excited about it. We've heard things that people want us to build into it, some more flexibility. So we're definitely listening. We have a lot of stuff planned, and we're really excited about the future of drop-in, stream together, shared chat, and collaboration in general, and how it'll all tie together.
Yeah. And I'd say one of the things that was so nice about shared chat, I think it highlights in general, those things that brings the communities together work well on Twitch. Hype Train is an example of that. And collaborations are great, but it's just hard to juggle two communities going on at the same time. And I think shared chat has been great for that. Before I get into shared viewership, one thing just I want to mention to folks in case they haven't realized this. Some people are using shared chat and they create a sort of shadow session of shared chat for a collaboration that's like in real life. And that is fine. So for example, sometimes you're physically in the same room and you're both streaming on your channels, and there's no problem with them creating a kind of stream together session, even though your camera. And I know a number of people have been using that. So that's great. All right, let's get to shared viewership. So Madison, why don't you talk about that? And so what is shared viewership?
Yeah, so shared viewership is the combined view count of a collaboration on Twitch and is automatically enabled with any shared session. Shared viewership combines view counts. It also boosts discoverability, and it brings your communities together like never before.
Right. So the way I think of this is those are the number of people watching this, right? And so because they're just watching it on multiple channels, so it highlights that. So talk about how you activate it and where it'll be displayed.
Yeah, so shared viewership automatically activates for all channels in a stream together session with shared chat enabled. You don't have to do anything. The metric will be displayed on all Twitch discovery surfaces. So that'll be browse and left navigation. And it'll impact the stream's position when you're sorting a browse directory by viewership. So if you sort it by high to low, the shared viewership will impact the placement in that ranking.
All right. So now talk about why we're doing this.
Streamers have told us that collaboration is really important. We know that with shared chat and stream together, we've seen a lot of uptick in usage. But the current experience, it doesn't feel truly co-op. We want to fix that by providing a more accurate representation of the collaboration experience for both the streamers and viewers. For streamers, the total viewership represents the full reach of the content that you are co-creating and the full community present and available to interact with when you're using shared chat. For viewers, the number is the most accurate representation of what to expect when you join a stream.
Yeah, and the way it is people want to know how many people are there with me, and that is the number. I know one thing that I've had many streamers tell me, they might be doing an in-person collaboration. I say, oh, why don't you stream on all your channels? And they say, oh, we don't do that. We pick one channel because it dissipates the viewership. And so they intentionally don't put it on multiple channels when they're collaborating, and they just rotate. We'll do my channel, then your channel, then your channel. And this allows it where you can be on all channels, same time, doesn't create this disincentive. So I think that's great. So why don't you talk? Oh, and by the way, I saw this question in chat. It does not count towards your partner status. Okay. I can go into, but that really isn't, the partner status is your community and how many people are coming to see you, and how much you've built your community. So this will not be part of your partner status, just to be clear. So Madison, talk a little bit about potential abuse issues in sort of our guidelines around this.
Yep. So we've established clear guidelines and will actively enforce policies to prevent misuse and maintain trust in this feature. These are all outlined in our help article that will be published soon. And yeah, just to reemphasize what you said, individual CCV is still the metric that'll be used for path to partner. And it also is the metric that is informing how ad payouts are measured. So eventually new post-stream analytics will be coming to help you measure the reach and impact of your collaborations, but individual CCV will be the metric applied to path to partner and ad payouts.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for and part of highlighting that we are not changing the individual CCV. That number's still there. It's still, so this is an additional number that you can use. And I'll just add on to what you said in terms of abuse. This is meant to represent what I'll call is true collaborations where multiple people are engaging together on stream. There are various different forms of it. Sometimes true collaborations include a video component. They almost always include an audio component. And please do not abuse this to create these things that aren't really collaborations just to get juice, because we will detect that, we will enforce upon it. And that is not the intent of this. So the intent of this is to respond to these true collaborations that are happening on Twitch. All right. With that, I think, oh, I know. One other thing I was going to say while you're here, Madison, that we didn't have in the list, but I mentioned it earlier. The other thing we're going to keep, I know this is often a question, we're going to keep working on making it easier where if you want to use shared chat, and you're not using the video and audio and stream together. Okay, so right now you can just do that by not pushing the video and audio to your channel. But our intention is not to force you to just use our video and audio. I think there's a first version of this. This is coming out later this year, which makes it easier to create a stream together session, which will just be for shared chat. And then the big thing that I'm looking forward is getting this so it works on mobile. Because for me, one of the biggest uses of shared chat is IRL collaborations where we're both together. And right now that's just hard because the way Stream Together works, you kind of have to have a desktop. So later this year and early next year, it will become easy to activate Stream Together, but without video and audio. And that way you can activate it on mobile and have shared chat, even if you're not using the Stream Together audio or video capabilities.
Yep, we're really excited to build all of this. The team's actively talking about it and working on it. We know IRL is really important as well as mobile. So we're super excited about what we're doing at the end of year and early next year. And then also just want to mention, I forgot to mention earlier, shared viewership is coming very soon. Keep your eyes out, possibly this week.
Ooh,
yeah, in fact,
that's
actually,
so exciting.
It's a good, as we talk about the Hoopla and all that, because this will be coming out very soon, and it'll be great as you start doing collaborations over the holidays. I think the holidays is a great time for collaborations, great time for Christmas caroling across Twitch, great time, and the shared viewership will be there. And I think that will help all of you. So think about how you can use this for your holiday celebrations, because I think it will be really useful for all of your streams.
Now, we've been
All right.
checking chat for all of your questions and we've been collecting them. So I know there were specific questions for Madison. So we will see you back in a little bit to answer some of those questions for shared viewership. So thanks for stopping by and we'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye. Now, Dan, I think we're going to get into some different experiments. It's really important that when we talk about these, we're specifically saying these are experiments, which means we're learning from these. They're not permanent. These are ways for us to learn, and hopefully we see benefits from them. So one of the experiments we launched was a gift discount experiment. And this happened around Thanksgiving. On November 22nd, we launched a short experiment offering a slight additional discount on gift sub bundles of 5 or more. So if you gifted subs of 5 or more, you should have gotten a little discount. This experiment lasted until November 29th.
Yeah. And so by the way this works is we just assign people to different groups to see how it works. Goal is to use the information to tailor future offers. I'll highlight as we experiment with discounts, because I know this is always a point of confusion. When we talk about bonus round, which I think we're going to talk about later, and also September, those are programs we run where Twitch is sort of absorbing the cost. In general, as we experiment with discounts going forward, we try to figure out these things that'll make more money for you and more money overall. And so in general, for these other discounts, just like the group bundle, that is not something where Twitch underwrites it. It's something where we both share in that discount. So in this experiment, as an example, we're trying to figure out how can we get your viewers to contribute more to your stream, which is different from September does that. But September, one of the big benefits of September is we're underwriting that difference. And same thing with the bonus round. So that means you end up getting more. But for these other ones, it's something that we share in that discount. All right, Mary, let's go to the next one.
Well, there was there was a comment as well from Swift STB. The 35% off, that was amazing. We love hearing positive and like your feedback on what you liked and didn't like about these experiments. It helps us understand and continue to encourage creators to find ways to monetize and make money on their streams, especially if that's their goal. So really glad to hear it. Thank you. The other one was Smaller Bits Bundle. So coming soon, Smaller Bits Bundle is going to come to Brazil, Mexico, and Germany. Starting December 9th, we're testing an experiment where select mobile viewers will be able to buy as few as 50 bits. This quantity of bits is automatically shown when you get to purchase. It'll be available first on Android devices starting December 9th, and we'll be releasing it on iOS in a couple weeks. It's only going to be available in select countries because we're hoping to learn to see if this helps folks cheer for the first time. And this experiment is fully funded by Twitch. There's no shared costs for this one. So cheers. This is just us trying to figure out, hey, I'm sure there's lots of people who would love to donate for the first time or offer bits for the first time, but they're like, I don't really want to do 300. 50 is a smaller number. That makes a lot of sense. We're going to test out 50 bits and see if that encourages more people to cheer for the first time. So sounds like a good experiment to have.
All right. And we're also expanding drops. This will be able to unlock drops by subscribing to participating channels during the offer window set by the game developers. So this is a way that we can use drops to encourage subscriptions. You can still collect drops by watching as always. This is just an option and an additional feature for developers and publishers to maybe help drive more subscriptions for you during drops.
We know that people really like drops. They're very popular with streamers. You can discover active drop campaigns and participating channels at twitch.tv/drops/campaigns. You can find the link right now in pinned chat. I believe it is up there. Yes, it is. Twitch.tv/drops/campaigns. Check that out. You can also head to your dashboard. In your dashboard, it should be dashboard.tv/drops. That will show you different campaigns that you can get involved in. I really recommend it. It is essentially just like an easy way to get additional viewership. I highly recommend it. So try out a drops campaign.
And also, we have a bonus round coming. This is an end-of-year bonus round. It's returning next month. It is sponsored by Valorant. So Valorant was sponsored for September. Thank you for the sponsorship. I know I didn't get a chance to do a stream with Valorant because I was swamped during that period. I'm looking forward. This will be over. I have more time here, so I'm looking forward to my first time playing Valorant. So the way it'll run, it runs from 12:23 to 1:20 to 1:2. Okay. All offers are live for the whole event. It's 25% off 1 month subs, 25% off 6 month subs, 3 month subs, and 30% off 6 month subs. So bonus round coming out at the end of the year.
Yeah, this is so exciting for us. And thank you to Valorant for presenting this bonus round. We know you get a lot of value out of it, and it's just a wonderful way to end the year. So just reminding you that end of year bonus round is December 23rd through January 2nd with all the discount subs, 25% off 1 month, 25% off 3 month, and 30% off 6 month. Plus, everybody really loved the little gift the gift sub bonuses that we were doing. So we're doing it again. For every bundle of 5 gift subs purchased on a channel, Valorant is going to add at least 1 bonus gift sub. But you can be on the lookout because they'll also be periodically giving out additional gift subs just to support your favorite streamers. So a lot of really fun extra bonuses here. Really good here. This is the same mechanic that everybody loved in September. We're just bringing it back, baby. You're just getting more of it because it's the holidays and it's wonderful. And Valorant said so. So we did it. So thank you, Valorant. And thank you guys for participating in the bonus round.
All right. And now we also are going to have 30% off merch in the Loot Cave. Right now, the link should be pinned in chat. You have to add the promo code TWBonus30. All right. They like to create these codes so it's difficult for you to remember them. We're challenging you here. This is a test. Okay. TW for Twitch, bonus 30 because it's 30% off. So remember that. I know whenever I get these promo codes, I'm always like, I don't remember the promo code. Hopefully you can remember this one. All right. Let's see. Now I think we're going to get on to, but since we're talking about subs, I just want to do a quick call out. We're talking a lot about subs here, and I just want to give a quick call out to Kai and Mafiathon 2. He set the record for 727,694 subs. So soared past it. I'm sure a lot of y'all enjoyed it, but quick call out to him for that. And with that, let's get on to the holiday events that we have planned. Mary, we've got a lot going on.
Yeah, we have a lot to get into. We want to make sure you're not missing anything. So just a couple things that are happening for holiday hoopla. This is like stuff that we're doing that's just a bit seasonal. It's festive. It should be fun. You're going to see lots of creators on the front page and on shelves hanging out with their trees, with their presents, lighting menorahs. If you are doing something seasonal, we want to see it because it's just a wonderful time to spread holiday cheer with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and with chat. Duh. So here's a couple things just so you can have on your radar. On December 6th, there is going to be a Together for Good raid train. We're doing Together for Good right now. This is where a lot of streamers are raising money for charity. And just as a reminder, if you're donating to charity using the Twitch charity tool, you get badges if you're donating money. So it's just a wonderful time to celebrate with other people and raise money for a good cause. There's a raid train happening on the 6th. Also on the 6th, which I think is this Friday, there's going to be the Nice List live with Ash Said Hi and Meadow. They're going to be doing some holiday hoopla. They're going to be doing drop-ins on various creators. Dan, I heard that they wanted to drop in on you. And
all right, I'll have to make it work.
I think there's even going to be like, I know they're still figuring this out, but I think there's even going to be like a nice counter to see like how nice the people are that they're visiting. There might be some surprises. Who knows what they'll have in store on this stream. So that'll be very cute. On December 10th, this is going to be a big one. Twitch Recap is here. It's the season and every brand is doing one, but only Twitch Recap has Demon Queens, baseball playing dogs, and dancing gummy bears. You can get ready for the 2024 season according to Twitch chat, and your recap is going to drop 12/10. So December 10th. Hashtag Twitch Recap is a big one. I'm pulling this one in now because I want to make sure you guys are all really aware of it. Recap is a big one for chat. And I saw a lot of people in chat being like, when's my recap? Where's my recap? there's your recap. Your recap is going to be 12/10, December 10th. That's actually very soon. It's within a week. Holy cow. Look at all those streamers. We're going to be talking about a lot of recap stuff on this date. And we're even going to have some surprises in store that I can't talk about, but you're definitely going to want to be on Twitch on December 10th when we talk about recap. That's going to be really good. What else do we have going on here, Dan?
All I have to say is I'm exhausted just thinking about all the stuff going on in December.
Lol. There's more. I know. There's a lot. There's December 13th. Twitch Pride Guild is going to do a gingerbread competition. That's very cute. We will see you on December 13th at 3 p.m. for that. And on the 20th is a special episode of Twitch Public Access where Dan and I are going to do drop-ins on various channels, gifting subs and having fun with various streamers. So we will see you on the 20th. And right after that will be Meg Cayley's Holiday Bonanza. This is basically Meg Cayley doing some really wonderful festive stuff on /Twitch. They are still putting together a lot of the plans for that, but we know that Twitch Ambassador Meg is going to do a wonderful job, and we can't wait to see what she comes up with. So we will see that. And then on the 23rd of December is when bonus round starts. So holy cow, there's so much to do, Dan. We are really going out this month with a bang.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. I know one thing I'm looking forward to do is possibly also do some, holiday Christmas caroling. I think that's a great thing for using drop-ins, where you just get a group and you go around Twitch and you sing some carols. So I'm hoping to find some group of music streamers or other folks to do that with me. And so a lot being planned. So by the way, for Holiday Hoopla, you can use the Holiday Hoopla in a shared chat collab for 15 plus minutes today through December 13th to unlock exclusive holiday themed emotes for them and their community and for a chance to be featured on the shelf. So you'll see a festive holiday knock button, drop in on your threads, spread the holiday cheer. Streamers can export their favorite holiday clips to TikTok or YouTube to unlock. So use the Holiday Hoopla tag in a shared chat collab.
Yeah. This is meant to just kind of really push everybody into that holiday spirit and remind you that when you go to Twitch and you see the front page, there should be something dedicated to just people participating in holiday festivities. And it shouldn't really be for any one specific type of holiday or person. If you are doing something with your buds, if you are decorating the halls, if you're putting lights on your house, again, wrapping presents, we want to see it. So definitely get involved in Holiday Hoopla and hang out with some of your other friends on stream doing it and enjoy your holiday badge, clip the halls. It's very fun. And with that, we got through all of the major parts of our show, Dan. So that's pretty good. And we are getting back to the point of answering your questions live. It's Q&A section. And so I'll be doing my best to answer all these questions in a good order. And I'll be throwing most of them to Dan because you're in the hot seat. But before we do that, we're going to get back to some of our wonderful guests. And to do that, let's please welcome back Anna.
Hi.
Hi.
I see I have a lot of great questions.
We love this. We love this for you. We want to make sure you're getting good questions. I have one question here from Devin Zara. What about sorting clips into moments instead of merely sorting by views? And then they specifically said, which is a poor metric. For example, if looking for a timeline of clips, they're often grouped into certain time frames. When the groupings occur, can help indicate memorable moments. The number of clips for a moment can indicate how liked that moment was. This is a smart question. Really curious what you think about Devin's thoughts here.
Yeah, this is great feedback, and we do want to keep making how we sort and surface your top clips better. We want to make sure that we are showing you your best clips. We are actually looking at the moments that get clipped the most. So where there's a lot of overlap between clips. And we want to make sure we surface one of those clips to you. So we're looking at that signal actually to deduplicate so you don't go through 10 clips of the same moment. But I really like this suggestion of sorting by how significant the grouping is. I think this is a really great suggestion. So as we continue to improve this, I will take this feedback. This is great feedback.
Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful.
I've always liked this idea because it's basically the same thing that now happens on your phone with pictures, where you sort of stack them together. So then you can pick which one of the clips from this moment. But really, what I want to see are a set of stacked clips, and those clips that are overlapping, I want to see them together as opposed to each one being separate. So,
Yeah,
yep.
it makes sense.
Okay, that's the one I have for you at this specific moment. I'm waiting to see if there's any other very specific questions for you while we have you, Anna. That's the one
All
that I
right. I
got.
think that's it. I think that's
Is
the one
that?
we got. We'll call her back. We'll call you back if
I'll
we
call
need
you
anything.
back if
Also, I
there's
can
more.
probably, or I can answer if need be. So they may come up. All right. Thank you,
Thank
Anna.
you,
Appreciate
Anna.
it.
Now, there's definitely lots of questions that were sent in live from this stream. Thank you for doing that. We also got a couple questions from Partner Discord. I'm going to be splicing those in as well to you, Dan. So let's get into a couple questions from some Twitch partners. First up, from Brother Grimoire, is there any plan to increase Twitch's response to reports? As of right now, it seems that the only mass reporting from a lot of users trigger any response from Twitch, no matter how serious the infraction. I personally witnessed a streamer say they will unsubscribe unless they were gifted subs, and Twitch did nothing about the reports. What can you say to that?
Yeah, I'd say that we do actually look at all the reports, and so there is no bias towards, oh, we only look at stuff when a bunch of people do it. In fact, if anything, sometimes when a bunch of people do it, sometimes it creates a lot of noise. I think the challenge here is people often look at other people's stream and they say, oh, that should be it, in this particular case, as an example. And I think we all need to be a little careful about trying to capture that one moment when somebody said something almost like a game of gotcha. Okay, streaming is hard. You're on stream for a long time. When the example you're given, I doubt that that person was seriously suggesting that's what they were going to do. It was probably said in jest or something like that. If it was reported, I am sure the team looked at it and decided it wasn't a violation. This is tricky. It's always tricky, especially anything that's close to the line. Anything that's close to the line, sometimes it's gray. So there's a lot of grayness. The team looks at all these reports. And remember, when you see somebody doing something, remember they're working hard. They're streaming for a long time, and don't try to just catch them in one thing where they misstate something briefly. So anyway, let's go to the next one.
Okay. I'm also going to be bringing in questions from chat. This one comes from chat from this show. Egger Gaming asks, when are rated viewers going to be counted towards real views, average views?
Yeah, rated
I wonder
users
if this
are
is
counted
for...
towards.
They
I know
are.
what
Go
this.
ahead.
I know what. I know. I know. I was the one who put it in here because I saw the question. I was like, "Oh, there's a misunderstanding." Raids do count towards your ACCV and average views and all that. What you're referring to is that previously the raid views were not counted towards your partner application, and they are counted towards partner application now. So that was always challenging for viewers because they could see, oh, my ACCV was 70, 85. But they didn't know how many of them may have come from a raid. And so then it was difficult for them to figure out if they qualified for partners. So we've eliminated that. Raids are counted towards partners, and they've always been part of the real views and average viewers.
I do want to add to that, though, that consistency is key when you're applying for partnerships. So a lot of times when people say this, they're saying, do raids count, do raids count. But what they're not really thinking about is that we are looking for consistency over months. And a lot of the times when somebody applies for partnership and they get denied, it's actually because they haven't shown that consistency in their viewership over time. Raids are great. We want you to get raids, but we want to see that you are having your own consistent viewership over a period of time. So we all know that rates are good, but they go up and they go down. Sometimes you get rated by a smaller channel, sometimes a big channel, and that's a huge boost. It's consistency that's key when it comes to applying for partnership.
And by the way, Mary, one reason why we eliminated this was because the reality, this added complexities, but actually wasn't a big factor, because in general, since you need 8 streams over 75 each of the 2 months, people usually aren't getting big raids, every stream they do. And
Correct.
so it's one of these things that added complexity, but wasn't really needed. But I appreciate you highlighting this about consistency. That's what we want to see, that you can consistently perform at a level. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay. Rain, partner Rain has asked Dan. Oh, I love how they started with Dan. Dan, how do you anticipate Twitch growing long term? We as streamers have seen various cycles of Twitch downsizing, removing features, and discontinuing support in countries. When will we see a focus on growth and experiments? Sorry, I just got lost for a second. Where will we see a focus on growth and experiments like we've seen in the past, which allowed Twitch and its users to thrive? Thank you for your time.
Yeah, well, thanks for the question. In fact, we like to answer these questions as they're asked. I think we just talked about a lot of those experiments. In fact, I'd say we're investing heavily in product features that helps Twitch grow and strive. I think clips are a huge way to do that. I think collaborations are a huge way to do that. I think the mobile app is something that is trying to help Twitch grow and strive. So I think we are continuing all that. Okay, and I kind of, the idea that you may hear these stories, but even throughout all of this, we've been continually focusing on new features that can help Twitch continue to grow, help you engage your community more, and help you stay more safe. All these things aren't just about growth. Some of the improvements in terms of the moderation tools, in terms of shield mode, in terms of things that help you stay safer, all very important.
Yeah, I think that's really well said, Dan. And I'd also say that sometimes what we could have been doing better and we're trying to do better in recent years is just telling you. Because there were times when we were doing experiments, but we weren't telling everybody that we were doing experiments, and people didn't know we were doing all this testing. Patch Notes is the place for us to tell you that stuff. So appreciate you watching and engaging in the stream, because that's why we do it, so that you can know all the stuff that we're up to. Our next question is from Peanut Butter Rampage. Mobile mod view for Android viewers. Any timeline for us that want to be able to assist our streamers?
Yeah, and in fact, we need to get a concrete timeline. I myself am an Android user, so it is coming out next year. They are working on it. I'm not sure if it's Q1 or Q2 of next year, but it is going to be coming out, and I want it as much as you do.
All right, our next question is from Igor's Lair. Is there an update to when we will see resolutions above 1080p for broadcasting? This would be very exciting going into 2025.
Yep. So we currently have done tests on HEVC and 2K. As you know, actually last year TwitchCon we did some 2K streams, and we still that's in beta right now, where people are able to use 2K. We still need to do some work, especially in terms of making everything work in terms of clips and VODs and everything else with that. So, but that's going to be rolling out next year, in the first half of the year for sure. In terms of our 2K. In terms of 4K, that's probably a little bit further down the line, but we're also working on the right way to roll out 4K. But next year, big thing is, and it's not just the 2K, but also the HEVC, which will help a lot of streamers.
Okay. Our next question is from Vogue Home. Last month, you said holidays would be a prime time for running ads and ad revenue. What's happening? They're saying that channels that they were modding from are making the same or less. Is that accurate? What's going on?
Yeah, there's been a lot of confusion around this recently. And it is the fact that there were some folks, because a big thing that we need to do with advertisements is make sure we're running ads against content that the advertisers want their content run against. For a period of time, there were a number that were expressing concerns around being shown up near sensitive subjects in politics, and so we had reduced the ads there. And then so some people that were doing stuff around politics and sensitive social issues may have seen a reduction, because some of the advertisers we weren't running the ads there. And then in some other categories, some advertisers may have adjusted. One thing that happened was then other streamers would look at their dashboard and they didn't understand that their dashboard for ads is delayed 2 days because they didn't usually look at their dashboard. And so they'd look at their dashboard and then they would make some statement that says, I didn't get any ads for the last 2 days. And it's like, no, that's because you weren't looking at the dashboard. So the, other folks such as Pirate Software has come out and talked about how he has not seen any reduction in his ads. So I think there's a lot of confusion. It's absolutely the case that certain content, it does affect your ads, and our advertisers at times adjust their controls in terms of the content that they want to see. But in general, we have not seen this big shift.
I think that's well said. Not just maybe confusion, but maybe some misinformation as well. There's a lot of things that people can say on Twitter, but there's no there's like nothing really guaranteed here. And we've seen a lot of creators not experience anything. So our next question is from Proto Wolf. With tier 1 subscription prices crossing the $5 threshold, that's in US dollars, we've all felt a squeeze with the cut down of active subs. Tier 1 subs are a foundation for many communities on Twitch, built in the altruism of, just being a part of the community as opposed to like FOMO or other ways that you would want to like monetize. I worry Twitch may harm this foundation. What is Twitch doing to ensure that its monetization stays affordable?
Yeah. So a few things there. First of all, very good question. Thank you for it. We have not seen, as you look at the different parts of the subs, while upon the change, there was some reduction in the recurring subs that quickly bounced back. We've actually not seen this big impact in terms of recurring subs. Overall, the price changes has resulted in more revenue for streamers, and most of the recurring subs were not affected by this at all. Now, that doesn't get away from the point you asked, how can we deal with budget conscious customers? And I think that's important. One thing that's important to note in this, because we set the tier 1 subscription price back in, I forget the exact year when that first was set in the US. And if you look at inflation, that same $5 is worth about probably $3.50 now to the streamer. Because there's been inflation overall, especially recently. So in terms of the overall price of the dollar and everything like that, we actually are still below what we were, in terms of the compensation going to creators. So it was important to kind of keep up with how all these prices change in general. But we also, that's one thing that's really important with bits and finding creative ways that people who maybe don't want to have a recurring payment or have less money, how can they engage in supporting streamers? We always look at whether there should be a cheaper form of a subscription. Right now, it's not clear that would be the right thing for our creators. We have been investing a lot, and we have stuff coming out next year more around bits to make bits a more engaging and community way to help with this. So.
Good answer. I'm going to move on to a live question from, oh gosh, I hope I say this right, Shambuki. Where can we learn more about subscriptions, drops, options for developers you were mentioning? You can see upcoming drop campaigns at twitch.tv/drops/campaigns. And for specific details on how drops can be unlocked by watching and subscribing, you can check out a help article, which is twitch.tv/how-to-earn-drops. If you're looking for ways that you can join a campaign, it's in your creator dashboard. So check out your creator dashboard and go to the drop section, and you should see different ones that you can get involved in and see how that goes. Here's another one for you, Dan. This is from E710 Dab Dragon. What happened to the ads the last few months?
Mary,
this may be a little similar. Yeah, go ahead.
Mary, let me interrupt. After we do this question, I noticed we have 2 in here for Madison. Why don't we do this question and then we bring Madison on and do those 2?
I love
if Madison is available. Okay. So let's do this question. Madison, be getting ready, and we'll bring Madison on to do the 2 in here for her. Okay.
I'm in.
Mary.
Okay. So this one, we're kind of going back to ads. But Dab Dragon is saying, that there's a disappearance of consistent revenue coming from ads. I think you answered this a little bit, but maybe
I think I talked through it. Yeah.
Okay, so we feel good about
I'm
that
not
one.
sure
So
if
then
there's anything else. Yeah.
okay, well then I'm gonna go and bring back on Madison, so we can answer some questions with Madison. So welcome back, Madison. Hopefully.
And with that, we have Madison.
Hi.
There we go.
Hi, Madison. Welcome back. We have a couple questions here for you. The first one is from Crits Cast. I have a charity stream coming up on Saturday with a dozen plus Twitch streamers. Is there a limit to the size of shared chat?
Yeah, thank you for the question and also for the charity stream. That's super awesome and also a great use case for shared chat. The limit for streamer channels joining a shared chat is 6, and that is the limit of streamers that can be in a stream together session. There are no limits on the number of chatters that can be participating in a shared chat.
So let me make this suggestion for your stream. We'd love it if there wasn't a limit, but there are various reasons historically over time we'll lift this. Here's my concrete suggestion to you. Go ahead and right now you're saying a dozen. If it's plus, you'll have to do 3, but let's assume it's a dozen. Set up 2 kind of separate shadow stream together sessions and assign 6 of them one to 6 of them to another. And then what you'll end up having is everybody will basically be in a shared chat with at least 5 others, where it's not optimal. It'd be better if everyone was in the same shared chat. It's still better than having 12 separate chats. So I would just divide by 6. You can have 6 per one, and then create, as opposed to 12 chats, 2 chats.
Math.
Yep.
Thank you for that question. And then Madison, the second question I have for you is from Semi Spree. If someone is in both chats, are both views counted, or is there a system to assure it is only being true viewers?
Yeah, that is a great question. This was super important to the team when we first started building shared viewership. View counts are not double counted in shared viewership when a single viewer is watching both streams. The shared viewership number is an accurate representation of the number of individual viewers watching the collaboration.
This is why it took a little while to build this, because otherwise you're just adding 3 numbers. Well, shoot, just add the numbers. We needed to do the deduping to make sure. And so you will notice you'll have 3 numbers, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 2,100 combined. And that is because they're deduped.
Madison, those are the questions that we had live from chat for you. So thank you very much. And if we have any more, we'll bring you back on. But thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
And by the way, for Chris Cass and anyone else doing any charity streams over the holidays, feel free to try to reach out to me. I'd love to drop in on charity streams planned for the holidays. I'll try to work it in. Reach out on Discord, DJ Clancy 999, and I'll try to make it work.
And don't forget to join Together for Good, because you can get badges for your charity streams. I'm going to...
Mary, can you explain to them right now, what does it mean to join Together for Good? Just state what join Together for Good means.
Yeah, so we want you to join our event for a charity. Basically, like, Twitch is combining all different charity streamers together for one event.
No, but how do they join? How do they join? What do they do?
You donate. So by donating $5 or more to any charity during Together for Good via the Twitch charity tool, it doesn't matter if you're a first-time donor or you have been donating since the beginning of time, there's a badge for you. Unique badges are being distributed to those who donate via the Twitch charity tool. So $5 will give you a certain badge. A collective total of $25 will give you another badge, and then $50 will give you our final golden badge for different people who are donating to charity. So it's a really easy way to get involved. There's another way. If you're a streamer, any streamer who uses the Twitch charity tool or includes the hashtag Together for Good in your stream can appear on our front page shelf. And that is a collection that will be on our front page from December 3rd to December 15th. And that's Twitch's way of giving you additional promo if you are streaming for charity. So whether you're a streamer or you're just a viewer and you want to donate, you both can get involved. And that's how you do it. Did I do a good job? Is that
Perfect.
okay? Great. Perfect. That's what I thought. Okay. Next question is from Junkyard Dave. Hey, Dan, I actually had one more question regarding smaller streamers' growth and their discoverability on Twitch. Ever since I became partnered, random people actually follow me from chats based on the check mark. I think it's a visual indication of, hey, I stream. We see that in chat right now. Is there anything planned in the future that would help show a streamer from a viewer in terms of a global badge? I think having something like that could help a long way for helping smaller channels grow.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. The thing is, a lot of people are streamers. We often talk about streamers and viewers. There are a large number of viewers that have streamed before and stream at some point in time. Okay, so there are a lot of streamers out there. I do think it's an interesting, you can say an affiliate streamer or a partnered streamer. Okay, of course, we have the partner nomenclature. I think it's a good idea for us to just think through how that might work. So thanks for the suggestion. I do think it's very useful to highlight those folks that stream, but again, there are lots of folks that stream. So it's an interest. In fact, when I first came here, I often thought of streamers, viewers, streamers, viewers, streamers, viewers. And I really had to break away from that dichotomy because all streamers are viewers and many viewers also stream.
Yeah, Panda Boxer said, right now I'm a viewer, and you're so right. And you might also be a streamer. So there's lots of different badges to give you to like tell everybody who you are. I love our TwitchCon badges. You can tell people that you are you're going to TwitchCon. That's one of my favorites. But obviously, like the automatic response to that, Dan, is going to be, is there ever going to be an affiliate badge? Is there an answer for that? Is
I
it
know.
like maybe?
I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I think they talked about it. To be honest, I would rather expand so more and more people are affiliates, and then that becomes this designated of the streamer. I think if we do it, it's because it's going to help people, and I'm not. At this point, part of this is I'm not sure. Partner is this status you get to, right? It takes a while.
Yes.
Affiliates, I'd like more and more, and I'm not convinced. I'm not saying this isn't the case, but I'm not convinced that trying to say, oh, this person streams from versus this person doesn't. It's a question. It's a good question. It's something that a good suggestion I keep thinking about.
Okay.
I'm going to grab a question that I saw in chat, Mary, that I stuck in here, but I'll ask it.
Great.
How much does Twitch Turbo impact my revenue stream from subs? I asked because if people start using Turbo exclusively in my channel, I don't want to lose all that sub in revenue. So we do not see Turbo as negatively impacting your sub revenue. We've looked at that. In fact, in general, folks that use Turbo also sub more. Now, I think that's more of a correlation. I'm not going to say Turbo causes people to sub, but of course, this is one thing that we always looked at was saying, oh, does the increased use of Turbo cause you to get less in subs? And we have not seen that happens. Turbo is related to your ad revenue, okay, and so not your sub revenue. And so far, we've seen Turbo being a very strong source of revenue for streamers. And a lot of streamers have highlighted that more and more Turbo is a kind of meaningful part of how they make money, and we have not seen that it is negatively impacting your subs revenue.
Okay. I'm going to move to a question from psychulturalists. There's a couple questions here. One is regarding VODs and highlights. Has Twitch considered implementing a searchable feature on channels that allows users to quickly locate specific content by typing its name?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good example with clips where we've talking about for the viewer. I will tell you from a user perspective, in terms of VODs and highlights, that's just not how they're used. VODs are very much a replay feature. People in general do not use VODs. They also talked about having a custom thumbnail for VODs and highlights. Twitch, people do not use our VODs and highlights like a YouTube service, right? If they want to see your edited stuff that you've created, they go to YouTube for that. And I know some of y'all see it and think, oh, well, that could be the same thing, but it is very much a replay service right now. People use it to catch up because they missed something. So these are all features that might be usable, But and I'm not saying it's a bad feature. It's a good feature. All these features are good, but it's a matter of prioritization in terms of helping driving the most value to our streamers.
Mm. Next question from XLR8. What are any long-term goals that are years away for Twitch?
So it's funny, whenever we talk about years away, I always have some trepidation. I think sometimes people like to create these like 5-year visions, and so often they describe a different company than you are today. I always point out the fact that, of course, when Meta changed its name, and all this about the metaverse, it's a great, wonderful vision. But a lot of people use Instagram today, and they're like, "But what about me? I like using Instagram." So for me, as I think forward going with Twitch longer term, the two biggest things that I want to see change is I want to make it so that you can sustain a community
Mm,
with less time streaming. Right now, most of the people that stream, that is their primary means of engaging their community. I think streaming is a wonderful experience, and I think a ton of creators that may write books, sing songs, be a politician, all of those people are creators, and streaming can be an auxiliary way that they engage their community. And so I'd love to see that continue so that more and more people realize what I call the magic of live streaming, because we talk about social media, and personally I think much social media is antisocial. You don't have that visceral connection to the people that care about you. You have a lot of Hollywood actors. They have fans. A community is around shared experience. So I'd like to make it easier for you to build and maintain a community with less time streaming, and I'd like viewers to be able to sustain a habit of engaging with Twitch with. Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
Are we still there?
I
Did you
hear
get
you
me for all
now.
of that or not?
Will you say the last sentence?
I'd like it both streamers to be able to engage with, use with less time, and also viewers. I think one of the things that we need to do with Twitch is make it easier for viewers to maintain even as they have less time.
That makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna keep trying to get through these because we have a lot of really good questions. This one is from Zofar. Dan, I wanted to know if you're going to be able to configure the Twitch stream streak test to be able to exclude certain streams in order to avoid penalizing a viewer from losing their streak. I, as a streamer, decided to do a surprise stream, and when the viewer misses
Good
it, breaking
question.
their
I'll
streak.
take that as a question. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a good question. Good suggestion. I'll bring that to the team.
thank you. Next one from Sheeksy. Could Twitch explore dedicated events such as Twitch Art Week? Oh, we actually did that to celebrate and promote the art community through challenges, workshops, and spotlight features, or a monthly Twitch art challenge organized my creative clubs. Now that we have one and artists and makers are thriving, I'll take this one. We did an art week once before, and it was super fun. We actually had a Twitch fridge, and we let people make art, and we posted it to our fridge and put it on the front page all week. We also just did different features and spotlights. Now that there are more clubs dedicated to more creative endeavors, I think you will absolutely see more things like this in the future. We have done it in the past, and you absolutely should follow /Twitch because it will let you know the next time we talk about something like an art week. We always have holidays planned. You'll notice that we always do lots of creative, fun things for April Fools. This year we did a really fun Halloween event. So we want to do more creative stuff with you. So appreciate that we've done it before, and we will do it again. I believe it's Dagger Dave. Dan, something I've always thought would be beneficial to us, the streamers, would be to have the ability to reward channel points to viewers manually, helping out chat, trivia questions, etc. Is that something you maybe would want to add in the future? So the ability for a streamer to just manually be like,
Yeah.
you get 50 channel points.
Yeah, by the way, I think it's a good idea.
It's a cute idea.
It's a cute idea, something to consider. I'll be honest, one of the things is sometimes we build features that are really fun and we all like. They don't, like channel points. We had hoped that it would drive more retention. It's a really great feature. We really enjoy it. But we're not like doubling down on it in terms of a team continuing to expand it. It's still a useful feature. I think this is a good idea. I don't know if we'll do it. Again, the challenge is always this one of prioritization. I think for every idea we can do, there are probably 10 good ideas out there, is the challenge. But I think this is an interesting idea.
Yeah, I appreciate that. There's lots of really good ideas. Which ones we can prioritize is important, but it is a good idea. Next one from Adora Bunny. I've been seeing and using Stream Together, and it has dramatically helped me and my friends. I was wondering what features are on the roadmap.
Yeah. All right, and you have a bunch of different suggestions here and ideas.
There's lots of ideas here, like giving mic
Yeah.
access and toggling their mute button, stuff like that.
Yeah. So they're both things to just make it easier to use. One thing we talked about is really making shared chat. The way to think of it is to have a video and audio-less stream together session, and so that it all merges together, right? So it's all one thing. So for example, suppose you're using Discord, or you're using some other, and you have shared chat going. The question is, can someone still knock on your door? And the answer should be yes. So we need to do some restructuring, but that's coming out so that it's kind of a streamlined flow, in particular for mobile, because right now you can't configure it on mobile. For me, one of the biggest areas that we're going to be experimenting with here, and I think this is a lot of people have, one of the questions I think we missed earlier was around discoverability for small streamers, Mary. I think that was the ones in there. Let me see, who was it that asked it? Jarose asked it. That I think we missed it. In general, for me, the challenge with discoverability is people always think, oh, we want more on the homepage. And the reality is that's not where people spend their time on Twitch. That is a feature of Twitch. People spend their time on the channel page. Whenever I talk to groups of streamers, I say, how many of you spend all your time on the homepage? And nobody raises their hand. 99% of the time they're on the channel page. The best surface for discovery for Twitch is a channel page. It takes time and repeated interactions to get to see if this is someone I want to hang out with. I say this all the time, but finding a streamer you like is kind of like finding a friend. It's not you just see them once, you see them over and over again. Okay. This is why short form content is so important to that. It's you see them once, you see them twice, you see them 3 times, see them 4 times. Like, I need to check out their live stream. So this is one reason why we're investing heavily in clips, because clips is a great way to help people be discovered, not just on Twitch, but off of Twitch. For me, the biggest area is collaboration on the channel page. And that's controlled by you. Stream Together gives you some of the technology to do this, but for a lot of people, they want someone to collaborate with, because in fact, they don't have a deep community of people that they know on Twitch that are streaming on Twitch regularly. So I think one of the areas that we have to work on is find some way to do some matchmaking to help people that want to meet other people on Twitch and stream with other people, find other people, and then also give them something to do. Because, when you're gaming, you have something to do. And this is one of the reasons why I'm bullish on some of these things. Gaming is inherently collaborative. GTA roleplay is impromptu collaboration. Every time you go and play a Fortnite game, there are 98 other people collaborating with you. They may not be on your stream, but they're in Fortnite actively doing things, okay? We need to make it, if you're not gaming, find a way to meet people, to collaborate with people. Also in gaming, it's inherently social. You meet people through gaming, and from then you collaborate. So I think there's a lot of work we can do to help you find people to collaborate with and help you find things to do in that collaboration. And that's more than just the feature of Stream Together. That's solving the need, which is, how can I create interesting, engaging content easily?
I'm going to keep trying to get through these questions. Sweetheart Allie asks, will there ever be a drop from 300 points for the Partner Plus requirements?
Look, in general, we have the 2 thresholds. So you think we have the right structure. Over time, I'd love to lower the thresholds as we're able to. Don't have any plans right now, but yes, I think, will there ever be? The good news is ever is a long time. But we structured it with this idea that I would like to expand it more. I will tell you, part of the structure here is having a structure where those people that depend upon Twitch to fund a meaningful portion of their lives, I'd like them to be able to sustain that. And that's one reason why we have the rev share structure we do. And I think both in terms of the tier 1 and tier partner plus, it'd be great if we can lower the thresholds.
Chunky Lotus. Hi, Dan. Would it be possible to implement silent ads for the ASMR category? When we think about the viewer experience, most of the times ADS play with sound, but viewers in the ASMR category tend to sleep or lurk a lot. For those unfortunate without a subscription or turbo, their experience is ruined by a loud advertisement. When a Twitch streamer is in the ASMR category, can they have ads without sound? It's an interesting question.
Yeah, it's and by the way, since you're a VTuber Chunky Lotus, that reminds me something to mention here. The tricky thing is advertisers are running ads so that you see the ads. And the funny thing about this is, hey, I mean, well, we're not really meeting the need of the advertiser if you're sleeping through their ad, because obviously they aren't getting any benefit to them. We always look, sometimes we have looked at kind of sound off ads and how those could be integrated in. And we definitely are looking at how to do that. It probably isn't intended to meet the needs of the I'm sleeping. But I do think it's an area, it's just we have to find a way to do that while still meeting the needs of the advertiser, still make the right amount of money, because sometimes audio is an important part of their creative expression.
That makes sense. And
Oh,
we're
by the way,
also
what I
always
wanted to mention,
experimenting with like different types of ads, like non-interruptive ads, right? So those like little ads that pop up as a
yeah,
bar and don't interrupt the stream, those are coming out more frequently. So we'll continue to experiment with other ways that are less disruptive to your viewing experience.
yeah. And by the way, that reminds me, we launched the VTuber Creators Club. So we mentioned this in art. Please, if you're a VTuber, go sign up. Looking forward to some activities with them, but excited to get launched.
Yeah, there's several clubs for different categories. There's a DJ club that's popping off, an IRL club that's doing really well, and we're really excited about the VTuber club. So you can find a lot more information about that on our blog, but so worth joining. Echo Ridge Gaming, is there an update on stream streaks being enabled for all partners or Twitch wide? It's a great tool.
I thought Stream Streaks was enabled. Is it only an experiment right now?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
We'll have to look.
We'll have to get back to you on that. Yeah.
I thought it was too.
They may be talking about different aspects of the feature that's being experimented with. So in general, we do lots of different experiments, and then we do plan on rolling them out. In general, for things like that, we would want it Twitch wide, not just partners. That's a feature that would be for all Twitch, not just partners.
Okay. Hello, Kelly. Hi, thanks for the opportunity to ask a question. I was wondering if there was an update on shared chat having shared viewership feature. We just talked about that. It was mentioned during TwitchCon. I haven't heard anything since. So we actually did talk about that again. But if you want to TLDR it, Dan, just for anyone who came in late to the stream.
Yeah, so we are launching shared viewership, and that will include, for basically it goes with shared chat. For shared viewership to be activated, you have to have shared chat. That's a way to ensure it is an active collaboration. In terms of notifying your followers as a standalone feature, the notify your followers is useful when you are on someone else's stream, when you're not streaming on your stream. So I do think it's a useful feature, but there's some complexity in making sure that you're not just notifying this person's followers when they're not on the stream, or you're not notifying your followers to go somewhere else where you're not. Because I do think that's a useful feature when you don't use stream together. So I think we're thinking about how to do that. But that doesn't matter if you're both streaming, because of course your followers already know that you're live if you're streaming. So thanks, and we're continuing to look at how to improve some of these features.
The bearded Baron asks, is there going to be a Veterans Guild for Twitch? I'm going to start, and I'd love to throw it to you, Dan. We're really honored. I help run our guilds program, and we're just so glad that it's received such a massive wave of love and appreciation from streamers. They are so overjoyed by how many people really want to be in these guilds or have more guilds. We have 4 guilds now. We just launched our Pride Guild. That is just now into the ether. And what we also did this year was we expanded our guilds to be more global. We included our people from UK and Ireland into our Black Guild as a test, and now we've expanded them more and even into additional languages. We're kind of still testing the waters though to see like how big can these get without disrupting the value of the guild experience. And I just kind of want to state one of the reasons why we're not just like making 100 guilds is because the most important thing to the guilds program and to me personally is that your experience in the guild is a good one. It is a positive experience. And so we have to really focus on making sure that the guilds are doing what they're meant to do well. And currently they are. Our satisfaction rating, we just did a survey, was very high. And that makes me so happy. We are dedicated to making sure that every guild is a very positive experience. So that is our focus right now. And that is why we're not currently expanding. And Dan, I'll throw it to you if you want to add anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, Mary, I'll add on to that. Yeah, I think the guild's been a great success. And for me, a huge part of that success is just giving a place where people that share this identity can reach out and form community with each others to do interesting things. It's not about Twitch, it's about the creators forming community. And you see this in the Women's Guild, you see this in the Black Guild, you see this in all the guilds where that shared identity is important. And it's absolutely the case that arguably this becomes even more important as you get to smaller identities. So as you talk about Veterans Guild, veterans are a smaller population of streamers on Twitch. If you talk about Indigenous Americans, that's a smaller population. So people that are Indigenous and Americans looking for other Indigenous Americans that might be streaming on Twitch, you're more alone because it's harder to find other people like you. I think one thing that we're definitely thinking about is how do we do something that meets the needs of what really is a large number that, in fact, you asked about the Veterans Guild, but of course, there are many groups that will ask Asian Pacific Americans, Indigenous, and of course, there are others as you go in other countries. We're a global country, and so the folks here won't even think about what are those groups that may exist in Spain, that is because culturally in Spain, it's an important subgroup that has an identity. And I'd love for us to find a way to do this in a more scalable, expansive way. I think the guilds are great. You can extend it to 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 guilds because of the way we're running them. I think the creator clubs is another example. We've got the partner Discord, and one thing I'd like to see is how partner Discord can start having people with shared identities can find each other. The nice thing about the creator clubs is that's not identity based, but it's interest based and it extends beyond affiliates. So this is something we're continuing to think about, that how can we meet the needs of the way, as opposed to thinking, how can we have a veterans guild? The question is, how can we help veterans find other veterans that stream on Twitch that may have a shared interest in supporting each other and collaborating with each other? And I think that's a great question. And we're thinking how we can do that. But you've seen this, the guilds, we're going global. We see the creator clubs expanding. We see the partner Discords. All of these things is how do we use Discord to form community among streamers. So we're going to keep thinking of how to do that.
Yeah, I had one question in chat. Oh my God, my chat won't move. How do I apply for a guild? So we closed our applications for guilds because during TwitchCon, we got such a massive influx of applications, like thousands, which is so awesome. We manually go through every application. So that takes a lot of time. We don't have infinite people. We only have so many people that work on these guilds. So it just takes us time. We will reopen them. Check Twitch socials. Twitch socials will tell you when the application is available again. And it takes us time to get through them. I saw a couple other people being like, I applied and nobody said anything to me yet. I promise you we're getting through them. So just be a little patient with us. Real humans go through every application to make sure that Twitch guilds are a safe space. The last thing I'll say about the veterans is that we know that there's a lot of intersectionality in our guilds. And so we did actually open up shelves on our front page for veterans, Indigenous creators, and disabled creators. And you should see those on the front page all year round, just like we do for our other major guilds. So I know it's maybe not the guild that you're hoping for, but I do want to say that the team cares so much about this and about you and your identity as a person. So we're going to continue to find ways to do it at scale, and shelves is like one of those ideas. So if you don't have the ability to apply for that, I know we had applications out. You can check out a blog post on our guild's updates, and we will tell you when you can apply for the next shelf for these intersectional guilds, which include veterans, disabled, and Indigenous creators. Megs asks, sorry, Dan, did you have something to add? Sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Our next question is from Megs. Does Twitch have an alternate way to support streamers in situations where the normal reporting system isn't helpful? I had a recent experience. I probably won't get into like all of the specifics.
Mary, I'd say don't go through all the specifics because it's long and nuanced, and Megs will know that we're talking. So I've read it, and so I understand. Let me just I'll summarize. Megs is talking about someone that had been banned, and then they created other accounts. Okay, and Megs was trying to make sure they did not bother them on the stream. So we're constantly looking at ways to support this. I will say that so we do have a lot of protection around ban evasion. And now this is an important distinction. There are different types of bans. There's channel bans, and then there's Twitch bans where you are banned from the site. And much of our ban evasion sometimes applies towards site-wide bans. So if you see somebody like continually harassing you and coming back with another account, it is useful to report that account because then we may take action not just about a channel ban, but we would take action against that individual who's continuing to harass you. But this is tricky. I mean, what you're talking about, and by the way, this is just a challenge that we work hard at. But unfortunately, on the internet, sometimes people can be very determined to find ways to harass people, and it's a bit of cat and mouse. But we're constantly working on trying to catch people that are trying to evade bans and continuing to harass people. And this is a problem we are always trying to improve on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I take this like really personally as well, Megs, like as someone who's dealt with a ban evader before, every person is different. And so what I did might not work for you, but what I did was I ramped up my settings to ensure that you had to be a follower for a certain amount of weeks or even months to prevent someone like that from being involved. And then eventually they got bored and moved on. I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I'm just saying that that is something that helped me personally, and I hope that you can find a solve that works for you as well using some of our features as we continue to invest in that space.
So Mary, let me go ahead. We have a few questions left. I'm just gonna fly through with some answers to them because I think we're over.
Go for it, Dan.
And one was talking about a lot of the challenges in terms of tax with Australia. Angel, that's probably a detail that, to be honest, I'm not an expert in that, so I won't be able to answer. But let's make sure we get somebody that can help them. So Mary, let's do that. Another one was talking about having a permanent category that puts all partners together. It's interesting. I don't know from a viewer perspective if a viewer is going to say, "Oh, I just want to look at partners." It's an important, landmark. We have the check mark. It's really important. But I'm not sure about a shelf that's just saying, "Just show me partners," because there's so many partners. But I appreciate the idea. A storefront for partners to sell products and services. In general, we've always looked at these things. Yeah, this is from Right Click. It's one of these things that there are a lot of third parties, and generally third parties that do these things probably do it better than us. We certainly think there's value in terms of the networks of folks you talk about using, Ko-fi. There are these things that we might be able to build, but really it's more of a general feature that should extend beyond Twitch. Same thing with selling merch. We've often talked about it, but the reality is there's lots of third-party services that help creators with merch. And so we only build it ourselves if we feel like for some reason we have an insight where we would do it better than them. And at this point, we don't have any plans here. And so now let's wrap up with Smirkies. And Smirky, what's your favorite thing about 24? What's your biggest lesson and what we would carry into 25? Well, with Anna, I did talk about favorites. I tend to shy away from my favorite thing for 24. There's so many great things that went on 24. I can't list them. And as soon as I start listing them, there are 5 things that I don't list. For me, the favorite things always, personally, it's always the engagement I have with streamers, be it on stream or in live. I'm really excited about the success we've seen with the shared chat feature. And in fact, this is going to lead me to what Team Carrying to 25. One thing that is clear to me is more and more those features that are, our communal features are the ones that usually work the best. I think Stream Together was really good, but it was when we had shared chat, which brought the communities together, that people are like, yeah, this is great. Drop-ins really helped a lot too, but but shared chat really helped. Hype Train is the poster child example of that, where it made community gifting a collaborative, a community experience. So the biggest thing I think is, as we think of product features, always think of what are those things that are community experiences. We're stronger when we're together. And there's a lot of people sitting by themselves streaming, and it can be challenging. Help them find other people, help the communities come together. And those are the features that work on our platform.
I appreciate that answer. We are so over. I know there's a lot of questions that we didn't get to, but we do this every month. And so we'd love for you to join on the next patch notes so that we can continue answering your questions. It's a big deal. And it's very important to us. Dan, I think we're wrapping up here. Are there any streams or anything going on with you that you just want to plug before we head out?
There are too many for me to keep track of. I think my mind is all awash, but I'll be doing a bunch over the holidays, dropping in and spending time with the holiday hoopla and everything else. And people, feel free to reach out to me if you have ideas, because I'm definitely going to be spending a lot of time roaming around and spending time with other creators in these holidays.
Cool. I appreciate that. I always go live on Mondays. I'm playing through Silent Hill 2 Remake right now. It's freaking great. So feel free to join me there. That's pretty much it for the show. I also just wanted to say we had a hackathon recently and we didn't talk about it too much, but CVS Gaming won one of the hackathon prizes. So I just wanted to give them a little shout out. Lights out is like where everything is dimmed and only your mouse illuminates a small area. It's really fun. So we love our hackathons and the winners. So congratulations to all our winners. We really appreciate having such a good time during our hackathon. We will be going live literally this Friday with it's kind of like a elf on a shelf fun little event. We hope that you'll join us on Friday. Follow this channel so that you can take part in all of our holiday hoopla and fun festivities. And please take care of yourselves. And we look forward to seeing you on the next stream. So thanks for joining us. Thank you, Dan, so much as always for being here.
Thanks for being here, everyone. And thank you, Mary.
All right.
Happy
bye,
holidays.
everybody.